is providing highest or top priority to entrepreneurship development, because entrepreneurship development has certain advantages, and those are that it helps in creating employment, it creating jobs, and then it helps in enhancing the income of the farmer, income of the entrepreneurs, and which ultimately hmm, uh, enhances the social status of the society. So entrepreneurship development is very important. Government cannot create all the jobs, cannot create employment alone, and it is therefore essential that there should be some alternative, there should be other opportunities which can create jobs, which can create employment, and which can help in enhancing the income, raising the income of the farmers and entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs development is very important, and thus government provides certain initiatives, has taken certain initiatives, and supports the entrepreneurship development. So there are so many initiatives taken by the government for supporting, for developing the entrepreneurs. So today, simply introduction, 1-2 slides I will cover and then stop. So in order to develop entrepreneurship among the agri graduates, so agriculture, agriculture is the way of life. It provides food, fiber, fuel, everything. So agriculture is defined as way of life. Agriculture is defined as a culture that we imbibe and we apply it for enhancing our food, our fiber means clothing. So it provides everything to us. So agriculture is very important, and we have agri graduates, which includes agriculture graduates in agriculture, including all allied sciences, all branches, be it dairy technology, be it animal husbandry, be it veterinary, fisheries. So all these are the components of agriculture, and all the graduates who are pursuing these disciplines are termed as agri graduates. So there are numerous agri graduates. Every year we produce almost 17,000 agri graduates, and for those agri graduates, it is imperative that they are either gainfully employed or they are provided opportunities to start their own business, create their own employment. So for that, government has taken several initiatives. One of the initiatives of the government is establishment of agri clinics and agri business centers. So these initiatives are credit linked, subsidy based credit linkage schemes, which tries to enhance the income of the agri graduates by employing, by extracting, by coordinating with their talent pool. Agri graduates has their own talent, their own expertise, and by utilizing their expertise, government envisages to develop the rural area, the agriculture in the which is pursued in the rural areas. So agri clinics and agri business centers have been initiated, and the agri clinics provides expert services and advice to farmers. So agri clinics are established to provide advices, expert advices and services, extension services, etc. to the farmers. So they provide advices and services pertaining to cropping practices. What type of cropping practices should be followed? Which type of cropping practice is suitable for that particular area? What are the technologies available? How technologies can be disseminated? Crop protection from pests and diseases. So they provide advices, consultancies, and remedies regarding the protection of crops from pests and diseases. And then they also provides apprise the farmers about the market trends, what what are the commodities, what are the agricultural commodities which are emerging, how they are behaving, how their prices are moving, what are the trends in their production, productivity, prices, where is the opportunity. So this kind of consultancies are provided by the agri clinics. They also provide the consultancy about the markets which are available for different crops, where to market, and also clinical services for animal health. Animals are very important. Animals are integrated component of the agriculture, of the farming, and therefore uh, they also provides consultancy on the animal health, fisheries, poultries, everything. So, and the basic motive is to enhance the productivity of the crops and animals, which ultimately improves the raise the incomes of the farmer. And you know, government is trying to double the farmers' income by 2020, although a disaster has happened. But the motive of the agri business or agri clinic is to provide the to provide the consultancies, expert advices to the farmers, which can ultimately help them improve their income, their crop productivity, and they have better market linkages. So we have agri clinics and then agri business centers, which provide information, paid consultancy, paid services, paid information, provides input supply, then farm equipments on hire and other services. You know, there is a provision for hiring the equipments, hire purchases there. One can hire the equipment on hire purchase basis and pay the installments. And after paying installments, if all installments are paid, they can keep that, own that equipment, they can own that machinery. So it is called hire purchase basis, and there is a provision for that. Then in order to enhance viability of the ventures, agri graduates may also take up in agriculture and allied areas along with the agri clinics and agri business. So allied areas are, you know, fisheries, poultry, all these are allied areas, and agri business centers can take up all these activities with the help of agri graduates to enhance, to raise the income of the farmer, and ultimately the income of the agri graduates who are involved in that. So this is one of the purpose. Then what are the objectives of the scheme? Every scheme has certain objectives. So these schemes have their own objectives, and the objective is to supplement efforts of public extension. You might be knowing that in villages, it is very common that farmers go to the input shops, they go to the fertilizer shop, they go to the insecticide, pesticides. So, and then they discuss their problems, and the input shop owners, the pesticide shop owners, the fertilizer shop owners, the shopkeepers, they advise them, they provide them, they suggest them that what to do, what to do, what not to do. And sometimes their advices are spurious. Their motive is to earn profit, their motive is to sell their products. So sometimes they provide those advices which are not desirable, and besides they are also not competent, they are not trained, they are not well educated in that area. So to provide the farmers public extensions, which is accurate, appropriate, and correct, the government has initiated these initiatives. So here the stakeholders are agri graduates. Here the consultants are agri graduates, so they are trained. They know the nitty-gritties of the this sector. They know the nitty-gritties of various operations related to agriculture. So they can better provide them consultancy. They can better provide the services. They can better give better. They can give better advice to the farmers. So this type of extension is public extension, and to support the public extension, the government has initiated this, and they are the farmers on payment basis, or even some services are free of cost. They can, as per the business model, they can take the advices from the agripreneurs and apply them according to the local needs and their affordability of targeting to the farmer. So this is the first objective. The second is to support agri graduate agricultural development. So agriculture plays the pivotal role in the economy. Agriculture is still very important in the country's economy because a large segment of the population is still dependent on agriculture. They are deriving their income and employment in the area of agriculture. So, and development of agriculture is very important to enhance their livelihood conditions, their income, their status, and for distribution of, for equitable growth of the society, for the inclusive growth of the society. It is essential that agriculture sector should develop at a rapid speed, and there should be an equitable development, and for that these schemes are very much helpful. Then to create gainful self-employment opportunities to unemployed agricultural graduates, agricultural diploma holders, intermediate in agriculture, and biological science graduates with PG in agriculture related course. So this is the third objective, where it intends to provide employment opportunities, self-employment opportunities to the persons who are trained in agriculture, who are graduates, who are postgraduates, who are diploma holders. So they can start and initiate their self-employment in the area of agriculture, and they can thus pursue this activity as their livelihood option to raise their income, to raise their livelihood conditions, to raise their status. So this is the third objective. And these are the models we discussed, that there are agri-clinics, ACs, and agri-business centers. So agri-business ABC. So we say AC and ABC model. So this is a typical model where the government of India is one of the stakeholders, and second is the state government. So there are initiatives which are initiated by the government of India, Department of Agriculture and Cooperation, Ministry of Agriculture. Now it is there, and then it has become Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. So there is this ministry who initiates, who creates, who makes policy, who provides policy support, who provides budgetary support and monitoring and evaluation to the activities related to these agribusiness and agri-clinics and agribusiness centers. So there is Department of Agriculture and Cooperation, which has become now Agriculture and Farmers, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, you know. So this is there. They provide training fund. So there is fund flow from the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. And it is the MANAGE, which is an institute in the Hyderabad, you might be knowing, who is the nodal agency. So from there, the funds flow to MANAGE. MANAGE decides about the policies. So what MANAGE does, it does develop training modules. So it develops different kinds of training modules, identification of training centers. So it identifies training centers across the country. There are so many training centers across the country which are providing trainings to the agricultural drivers, which are involved in agricultural development program. Then selection of graduates, which helps MANAGE helps in has established and creates criteria for the selection of agri graduates, and assess and then certification. So evaluation and certification is done by the MANAGE people. Then monitoring and evaluation is, is an essential component of all organized activities. Here it is an organized activity. It is agri-business, so it is very important to supervise, monitor the activities, and that is monitoring and evaluation. And then linkage with NABARD and agriculture firms, and then it helps in establishing linkage with the financial institutions, which are the NABARD and agribusiness firms, which ultimately buys the products and help them in establishing linkage with the farmer. So in all these 5-6 areas, MANAGE helps, MANAGE plays the main role. Then MANAGE identifies the nodal training institutions across the country, NTI. So there are different NTIs across the country who provide trainings, and what they do, they after, as per the instruction, as per the guideline of the managers, they select the candidates. Then they provide trainings and handholdings to those selected entrepreneurs, candidates, monitor and feedback. So they do monitoring and take feedbacks and then provide these feedbacks back to the managers. So, and lies with banks and industries. This is very important that after training, the entrepreneur should have the linkage with the financial institutes, and that linkage, in establishing those linkages, although it is not guaranteed that you, once you are trained, you will be provided with the financial support, but then definitely it helps in establishing linkage with the financial institutes. So this is the role of the nodal training institutes. That nodal training institutes again train the agripreneurs. So there are agripreneurs. Then another channel is that Department of Agriculture MOU, which is Agriculture and Farmers Welfare Law. Provide subsidy funds flow to the NABARD, because it is the fund flow, it is the finance which should go to the entrepreneurs. So this subsidy is allocated to the NABARD, given to the NABARD, which gives it to the banks for funding. While funding, as per the guidelines of the NABARD, the banks give the subsidy when the loans are taken. So fund flows, subsidies, fund flows from the ministry to the NABARD, and then NABARD gives the subsidy, the share of the subsidy, to the banks as per the established norms and rules. We will discuss later. So subsidy comes to the banks, and then those subsidies goes to the entrepreneur. So in terms of credit subsidy, so I have already told you that it is a credit linked scheme. So here the credit subsidy comes to the entrepreneurs, agri-graduates. Then the state government also helps, supports to the agriculture graduates. So there is central government which provides different kinds of support initiatives we have already discussed, and then the other is the state government, which is also there. And what they do, they identify unemployed graduates. These are the initiatives taken by the government. Then outsource extension service activities to them. Agriculture is the state subject, you know. The state has the rights to make policies regarding the agriculture. So it is the state who identify unemployed graduates, outsource extension activities to them, and monitoring and feedback. So these three areas, based on these three, state government, what it does, it transfer its schemes, funds to the farmers and also to the agricultures. And then what are the role? Undergo training. So after the initiative, after the identification of graduates, the candidates, for outsourcing the extension activities, they are supposed to be trained. So they are sent for the training. They undergo a training, comprehensive training. Then prepare bankable projects. It is important that you must have a business plan. You have a bankable project so that you will face the loan. You can take the loan from the banks. Then establish venture. You will start your venture. You will start your project. Serve farmers. Start serving farmers. Start giving consultancies to the farmers. And consultancies are given. I've already told you that in the area of selection of crops, post-harvest production. Then key agriculture information, price trends, then markets. So these are the areas in which consultancies are provided. So farmers are served in this area and work with public extension. So it also helps in providing the extension services, expansion of public extension. So Center for Agricultural Extension Innovations, Reforms and Agripreneurship. So for giving the attention, focus, a special emphasis, the government of India has created a center which is known as Center for Agricultural Extension Innovation Reforms and Agripreneurship, CIRA. It is situated in Hyderabad, in NARM, manage itself. It has a director and then different consultants for different areas. So this is a center which is there, and it is to effectively implement and monitor agri-clinics and agribusiness schemes. So this center helps in effectively implementation of and monitoring of agri-clinics and agribusiness schemes. A separate center called SERA, established at manage, I have already told you, in the 2019. So SERA was established in 2019. It is a separate center. It is established in manage. It has a director. It has consultants for the, different regions, and it helps in effective implementation and monitoring of agri-clinics and agribusiness schemes done by the government. And its major function is, this center is to improve quality and quantity of the training programs. This is very important, that the candidates, the entrepreneurs, the agripreneurs should get qualitative and qualitative information in sufficient quantity. The volume of information should be qualitative and sufficient. So in the form of training program. So it helps in improving the quality and quantity of the training programs, and hand-holding activities and resolving problems of agri-entrepreneurs. And it also helps in solving the problems which are there associated with the agri-entrepreneurs. So this is the second. And then the third objective is, center is headed by the director. And third is, center is headed by the director and assisted by 6 consultants to look after 5 geographical areas of Kandoti, I have already told you. So this is the makeup of that center and role of that center, that is SGIDT, which is in Hyderabad. Then the major task of SGIDT is general awareness, to create awareness. It is important. What is desirable, what is desired, what is needed is the awareness, to educate the agripreneurs as well as the farmers. Farmers are often fail to perform because they do not have qualitative information. They are not aware of so many things, and it is therefore essential that, it is therefore imperative that you have provisions for creating general awareness. So SGIDT helps in creating general awareness in coordination of the activities, monitoring, and overall implementation in liaising with other stakeholders. So other stakeholders are the government, state government agencies, the entrepreneurship development centers, so training centers. So these are the other stakeholders. So with the help of those stakeholders, by maintaining proper liaising, they go for creating general awareness, coordination, monitoring of overall implementation. Then selection of nodal training institutions. So I have already told you that in the country there are different nodal training institutes that provide the training to the agripreneurs, entrepreneurs. So it helps in selection of the nodal training institutes. And then selection of candidates for training. It decides, it designs the eligibility criteria so that the candidates can be selected. So it helps in selection of the training. Monitoring of training programs during and after the training. So it monitors the training program, whether it is going as per the norms, whether it is going as per the plan, whether the quality of the training is good, whether the candidates are able to receive the messages, the information given in the training. So all these kinds of monitoring and evaluation is the role of SGIDT. Then guiding the nodal institutes in hand-holding. It helps the nodal institutes, training institutes, to in hand-holding exercises which are given to the entrepreneurs. Then funding of training and hand-holding activities. So it also provides funding for training and hand-holding activities to the other training institutes. And documenting the success stories, which is very important. There are several success stories which can be documented and start to be documented, which needs to be documented, and it will say the documentation of those success stories for their upscaling or for their application in other areas. So documentation of success story, and then third is taking measures for replicating success models. So I have already told you that there are success stories which can be effectively replicated in other areas, in other. So it also helps in replicating those success models. So time is perhaps running out, so we will discuss tomorrow uh, in detail some more aspects. So thank you very much for today. Tomorrow we will discuss. Huh? Thank you. I know you are tired.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.